Welcome to the Cowboy Football Roundup with Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy. OSU off to a 2-0 start thanks to a big win at South Alabama. And Coach Gundy, I guess you could argue those two games have been won in different ways. The offense had a big game against Tulsa. The defense had a big game against South Alabama. How pleasing is it for you to see that?
I was glad the defense improved so much on third downs. Now, South Alabama's going through some changes at the quarterback and position, and they're not quite where they want to be at this time. But in both games, defensively, we played well on first down, and then we had considerable improvement on third downs. Our team speed on that side of the ball seems to be good up to this point in the year. Well, the challenges will continue to grow as we progress through the season. Offensively, we kind of knew where we were at coming into the season. I think the thing that I'm most pleased with is the way that Mason's distributing the ball equally to whoever the defense says that, you know, we want them to have the ball. Like South Alabama was playing a lot of heavy run and man coverage, and so he moved it around. And but it's good. It's good that the defense was able to play better on third downs, and then offensively we're able to make an adjustment when they really didn't allow us to run the ball.
Stay tuned. We'll look at highlights of the Cowboys' win over the Jaguars when we come back. The Cowboy Football Roundup with Mike Gundy is brought to you by Bud Light, proud friend of Oklahoma State athletics, famous among friends. By the visitstillwater.org Shop, Dine, and Stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life.
Hi, I'm Coach Gundy with Oklahoma State University. With approximately 900 Oklahomans waiting for a life-saving transplant, I encourage everyone across the state to make the important decision to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. So check your driver's license for the Little Red Heart. If it's not there, visit lifeshareok.org and join the registry today. I have the Little Red Heart. Do you?
We return on the Cowboy Football Roundup with Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy as we head to Mobile, Alabama. The Cowboys in South Alabama. Mason Rudolph getting his guys ready to go against the South Alabama team, playing only its 9th season of football. The defense set the tone early.
Sure did. We started out there early with a sack and put them in a long yardage situation. They had just held us, and there's the replay there with the DQ making a nice play. Get him in a 3rd and long situation, and the quarterback felt the outside pressure, and guys did a good job there of handling the scramble. You know, we didn't do very good last week. They actually hobbled the quarterback pretty good there.
And knocked Cole Garvin out of the game, and now you're on offense.
Yeah, and then right back at it on offense. We're in a 3rd down situation. Mason's done a really good job of this year, converting the 3rd downs. And then I like how he slid and didn't take a hit.
Do you mind that he runs? Do you want him to run in that situation?
Yeah, he's been really good at this, and he has to do it at times for us. Then they're into a man coverage situation, and he's got the stop route outside to Lacey. We got stopped there. We should have punched it in, but we didn't. And Amendola comes in and makes a field goal and puts us on the board 3-0, and give it back to the defense here. And they were able to hold them. And here they are overloading the box and playing in a kind of a cover 1 look. And Mason sees it and hits Washington on the slant. And, you know, he's really tough to defend when you get in that position. Got a big one there.
66-yard touchdown pass, as a matter of fact. It sounds like it took a little bit of time for you to feel out exactly what they were doing defensively. True?
Yeah, it does. You know, I'm not sure that I expected it and or we expected that type of approach. But the good thing with Mason is you know, his maturity. He understands what's going on. Really nice route, nice throw, nice catch. And then, you know, this is what James is really good at. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he can really roll.
Washington now with 4 big play touchdowns on the year, and the Cowboys are off to a 10-0 lead. Then once the defense goes back out on the field, it's the same thing. South Alabama didn't have a first down until midway through the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, we had a nice pass rush there. Ramon was in decent position there, and the quarterback overthrew it with the pass rush coming from the outside there with Jarrell.
And South Alabama is somewhat unique offensively, aren't they? Were you concerned about that going in? Because they have some unique elements. There's one right there.
Yeah, they do some unusual things, but then, you know, Owen's a really good job with his speed there, running the guy down and putting him in a real long yardage situation.
South Alabama, in fact, had 0 yards offense, or 0 yards rushing, I should say, in the first half, and then it's back to the air and Washington doing his thing.
Yeah, Mason finds him in man coverage again and lays the ball out there on the fade route. It's a good job of staying in bounds. Mason goes right back to the air on the play pass and hits Aikman, big target there in the back of the end zone.
Aikman had 2 touchdown catches, and people might remember he missed all of last year with an injury.
Right.
How pleased have you been to see him come back the way he has? He's your leading receiver now.
Well, he's done really well, and I expected him to. He's very mature. He's a really good player. He's level-headed, and he's picked up right where he left off a couple years ago.
And speaking of guys coming back from injury, there's another Jordan Brailford.
Brailford made a nice play, and I like the RD line. I like the way they're playing. You know, you don't have a guy that people say is going to be an early round pick, but I like amongst the group how they're playing together. Nice job of Mason there dumping the ball off underneath when the coverage dropped off to take the downfield throws, and that's a sign of a mature quarterback right there.
Yeah, you were talking about the distribution to different guys. You had Aikman with 5 catches and then 4 others, including Justice Hill with 4 each. That's about as good as it gets.
A 3rd and 6 conversion there.
Yeah.
Again, Mason moves around, stays in the pocket, and finds Hill. Hill's been a good receiver for us. Another 3rd down. Mason finds Stoner, converts again.
Another young man who's overcome injury.
Yeah, he was in the same situation. We stalled out there and able to come in there and knock. Oh, he missed that one.
Yes,
That's the one he missed. Yeah. Well, that was close. Little bit quick and not really good on the follow through, but that was the one he missed, and he came back later and hit a couple others. There's their play, the little pitch power sweep play. Our guys worked hard on that during the week in preparation. I saw us working really hard on that, and Phillips runs really well, you know, and he can get out there and corral that guy in. There it is with the pass play, where they had the slant and the kind of the wheel route on the outside. Tough play to defend.
And that was a big play in the game because South Alabama had it 2nd and 1 on your 10, and then you kept them from even scoring a point when they missed the field goal. Then you go hurry up and you get some points out of it.
Yeah, we had, I don't know, 50 or seconds or a minute or something, and Mason did a really nice job of stripping the ball again. Here he finds Hill underneath. We're in really good shape here. We're on the 35 with 36 seconds and 2 timeouts. That's an eternity for us. We stalled out. Again, Mason actually missed a throw. We had a guy running wide open down the middle of the field.
Yeah.
But Amendola comes in and kicks a 53-yarder, which would have been good from 60. So that's a nice little momentum at the half.
And there you see the domination by Oklahoma State in the first half as the Cowboys led 20-0 at the intermission. Well, there was more great play from the Cowboys in the second half, and we'll get to those highlights when we come back.
We've got great energy and excitement on game day. We have the walk where the fans line the street.
Well, the energy and excitement on game days is just unbelievable. The fans are out there, they're waiting on us to come walk through.
It's one of the most special things in college football. The fans are out and they're ready to see Cowboy football kick off.
We're back on the Cowboy Football Roundup with Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy. As we move to the second half, the Cowboys led 20-0 at the intermission. Here early in the third quarter, this play, Calvin Bundage ejected for targeting.
Yeah, you know, the rule states you can't lead with the crown of your helmet. He did. I thought targeting was also a factor if you hit a player who can't protect himself. He ducked his head, we ducked our head. But anyway, they made the call, and I hated that for Calvin and really for us. We got the stop, though, back out there, and Mason hits Aikman on 2 throws, and one of them being a man coverage slant route off play action for a touchdown. Really nice play by Mason and nice catch. I had an unblocked guy in our face coming off the edge. He sat in there and made a nice throw. That guy right there.
And you have great receiving depth, but you have different types of guys. For example, Aikman is your big, tall guy.
Yeah, and we have so many of them, you know, we just don't have enough footballs to go around. Washington, you know, he gets almost 100 yards in receptions, but he only got 2 catches. 13 had his catches, 3 had his catches, Justice Hill had catches. So back at it there, and we're in a, I think a third down there, and Mason did a nice job on the keeper and scored. Nice little nifty run. A little dip in and dip out on the end, and freezes him there, and then he's able to use some speed and get in there and score.
Yeah, it looked like he waited on the block from Johnson too there.
He did. You know, he's eager to do this, and as long as he protects himself, I'm for it. But he played really smart in this football game.
So very early in the third quarter, at the 7:44 mark, the Cowboys are up 34-0. That's the second rushing touchdown of the year for Mason Rudolph, and at this point in the game, you have command. The running game was better in the third and fourth quarter, it looked like. Yeah, it was. They changed a little bit with what they were doing, and backed off some, and that allowed us to rush the football. If you look right there, you know, now this is the blitz situation here. Mason did a great job of stepping up in the pocket, and they called that incomplete. I thought on the replay that it showed it was complete. I didn't understand this at all, but regardless, we're in with the punt group, and our defense is back out there. They're in a little bit more of a throwing mode right now. Nice tip, nice effort by Trey, and a great run by Phillips. Darian Daniels did a great job on the deflection, and then it's interesting, Trey Carter tries to go over this guy and catch it, and tipped it back up in the air, and then Phillips catches it, and then breaks a couple tackles and scores. Watch Trey Carter right here try to catch it over this guy's head, and he threw it back up, break a tackle there, and break a tackle there, take care of the football and score. So that's two defensive touchdowns
sure.
in 2 games. Those are such big plays, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, they change games. I mean, they just, you know, they change games because they're a score that you don't count on, and make it extremely difficult for the other team to overcome.
Now Keandre Woodtee in at quarterback.
Yeah, Woodtee, a nice throw there on the comeback route off play action. He did some good things. He did a couple things I wasn't really fired up about, but in the end, he played okay, and he did this. He's got to do some of this when he's in the game. You know, he has the ability to do that. And then we have another long field goal and a really good kick by Amendola.
48-yarder, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
stretches the lead to 44-0. South Alabama finally gets on the board with about 4.5 minutes to play, and you've got the reserves out there defensively. It's hard to shut somebody out in major college football.
Well, that, and we had 2 missed tackles there, but we're getting a lot of guys reps. A lot of guys are getting to play, which is good. Our starters were in there, I think, for only like 40 plays, which is also good for the duration of the season.
So the Cowboys win big over South Alabama. It's a 44-7 victory for Oklahoma State on the road in Mobile. And one thing we haven't talked about, Coach, is the guys sing the alma mater to a pretty good Oklahoma State contingent. You were down 2 linebackers due to injury in this game, Kenneth Edison Magruder and Kevin Henry. Then you lost Bundage very early in the third quarter. You were down 3 guys, and you almost pitched a shutout. Yeah, our guys rallied around each other, and that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, in college football, guys get banged up. And when that happens, you know, other guys got to step up. Stay with us. More coming up on the Cowboy Football Roundup. Good evening from Mobile, Alabama. It's week 2 of the college football season as tonight Oklahoma State takes on South Alabama here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium.
We get to see one of the best teams in the country in a very interesting atmosphere.
Mike Gundy has talked about this season, we're going to have some fun, we're going to take a lot of chances. You got to have that kind of mentality coming into this.
He fakes a handoff, he's back to pass, he's hit, and he's sacked. Rudolph goes over the middle, it's caught by Washington. Washington 45-40, and Washington's gone. Good night, Vienna. And a great play made as Samori Collier is tackled by Jarrell Owens.
How about Zach Crabtree getting outside and getting a little chip block on the defensive back that allowed Johnson to hop over it.
Throws over the middle, and the pass is caught in the end zone by Marcel Aitman. Pistols firing.
South Alabama's tired. They said they're not used to going this fast. They're complaining about the tempo, and they're saying this is the best quarterback they have ever seen.
Rudolph for the record, and he's got it. Chris Lacey with the catch, and Mason Rudolph has become Oklahoma State's all-time passing leader. It's now Mason Rudolph sitting atop the charts in Cowboy history.
Mason takes the ball, fakes a handoff, fires over the middle. It's caught by Aitman, and he takes it into the end zone. Takes a handoff back to pass, being chased, and he is sacked. Kirk Tucker, the first man to get in there. Looks right, looks left, throws, it's batted in the air, and it's intercepted! Intercepted by the Cowboys. Justin Phillips headed toward the end zone, and he's in! Pistols firing! Touchdown, Oklahoma State, Justin Phillips.
44-7, Oklahoma State, an explosive team with a Heisman hopeful quarterback running the show. And if this defense continues to improve, it's a team that's going to be very difficult to deal with in Big 12 play.
Hey OSU fans, Allison Gappa here at the Sherman E. Smith Center after the Cowboys just wrapped up practice as they prepare for Pitt on Saturday. We got up with defensive end Jordan Brailford on what it's been like returning to game action this season after being out with an injury for 18 months.
It's a good feeling being back, you know, got a little rusty, but I'm starting to knock it off. I'm just excited to be back and playing with everybody else, though, so I'm just happy to be back. We have a lot of experience up front. We have a lot of depth up front as well, so we expect to make plays and we expect to, you know, get to the quarterback. And it is our job to take pressure off the secondary by getting to the quarterback faster, by filling our gaps on the run. And I feel like if we continue to do that, we're going to have a good season.
You guys even have coined yourself as the Decepticons from Transformers.
Oh yeah, Decepticons. We each got our own little name after each Decepticon in the D-line. Started out, we had a group message going on. I think Trey Carter must have brought it up, and I guess people started rolling with it. And before I knew it, everyone had a name, including myself. So.
No question, Pitt likes to run the ball. What's this prep week been like for you guys?
It's been a lot of motioning. You know, they do a lot of tackle over and stuff like that. Just staying in the right gap, fitting up, pulling guards right. So staying assignment-wise, football, just big on bigs. Just who gonna win, our team or your team, who's tougher. We expect to make a lot of plays in the backfield. We expect to play on their side of the ball. We have a lot of depth, so we don't expect to get tired. We expect to play all out because we rotate a lot, so we're going to be fresh. And we just expect to have a good dominant game performance across the defensive side of the ball.
Jordan Brailford and the Cowboys will face off at Pitt this Saturday with an 11 a.m. kick before they return to Boone Pickens Stadium next week as they take on TCU.
We've got great energy and excitement on game day. We have 35,000 people that tailgate on any given Saturday. Once we get in the stadium, 60,000 people, a sea of orange, and there's a lot of energy because of the way the stadium's built. It's very loud. The fans love being here. It's an exciting place to play football.
Welcome back to the Cowboy Football Roundup as we wrap things up. And next up, another road game and another fairly lengthy plane flight as you go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting trip for us. It's quite a ways up there. Pitt is a team that we thought last year was really good, and it held to be true in beating Clemson on the road and had a lot of close games. They have a younger team this year, but you know, they're really sound in what they do. They do a nice job with their schemes on offense and move the tight ends, a lot of fly motion. Defensively, they're going to play their 4 down, they're going to play their quarters coverage and roll and blitz. So we've got to prepare each week. We're excited about playing up there. I think the players look forward to playing in that stadium, you know, a professional environment. So that'll be neat. But and it's an early start. I think it'll be 10 o'clock here when we start the game.
11 o'clock here, noon there.
Noon there, 11. Yep. So it's going to be an early start for us. But we're looking forward to it. Should be a great week of practice and a good game.
Sounds good. Good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you.
It's Cowboy head coach Mike Gundy. For Allison Gappa and Coach Gundy, I'm Dave Hunziker. We'll see you next week on the Cowboy Football Roundup. The Cowboy Football Roundup with Mike Gundy is brought to you by Bud Light, proud friend of Oklahoma State athletics, famous among friends. By the visitstillwater.org Shop, Dine, and Stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life.